Physical domestic violence is any act that gives pain to the victim. Okay, so slapping, kicking, biting, pulling the hair, anything that causes physical pain to the victim is considered physical violence. Also, sexual abuse is the crime where a married couple, for example, a husband forces his wife to have sex. That's considered sexual abuse. Emotional abuse is anything, for example, putting somebody down, calling the partner names like, oh, you're fat, you're ugly, or just simply, attacking their self-esteem. Financial abuse is when a couple, or for example, an abusive partner steals money from the other partner or refuses the other partner to have money. Like, for example, where a wife works, for example, and the husband takes away the paycheck, or the husband makes the wife deposit the money into his account and stuff like that, and he's controlling over the family sources or financial sources, is considered financial abuse. For the most part, studies have shown that the vast majority of victims are females, and therefore the vast majority of perpetrators are males. So there's a couple of theories out there that will argue that the reason why that's the case is because of patriarchy. Men dominate women, right? We live in a patriarchal society where men are supposed to dominate everything, all aspects of society, including relationships. In reality, studies have shown that women are actually more likely to get abused by someone that they know. Okay, so stranger danger, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. It does exist. There are women out there that do get attacked by a complete stranger, but that's actually really rare. That's really, really rare. It does happen, but the likelihood of getting abused is by someone that you know. Well, there are very numbers of factors. One of them being self-esteem. If you are constantly criticized by someone that you love, and that person puts you down, that can definitely affect your psychological well-being. There has been some cases where where people have committed suicide because of that. Right? Some people say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm not worth it. You don't think of me in a positive life," and then they commit suicide like that. So it's really very traumatic. It could be very traumatic, especially when you have someone that you love that is attacking your self-esteem. There has been some cases where people have lost an eye. There has been some cases where people have lost their teeth and have broken nose and broken legs and stuff like that. So it could be as severe as losing an eye and having all your tooth knocked out, or it could be a homicide where you're completely dead. Studies on psychological abuse have particularly looked at children. So if there's a couple, for example, fighting in the living room and they have children and the children are witnesses that, studies have shown that individuals are learning how to be abusive themselves. That if a child is surrounded by abuse, especially emotional abuse, then there's a good likelihood that individual may grow up to be an abuser. Not always, but studies have shown that if you are around emotional abuse, then you might use emotional abuse when you get into your own relationship. There's a number of shelters and hotlines out there that are available to victims of domestic violence here in El Paso. Well, first of all, here at UTEP, for example, so the counseling services that are offered here at UTEP also can help victims of domestic violence. There's also the El Paso Battered Women Shelter here that they also have a free hotline, and then, of course, they always welcome victims of domestic violence. And the El Paso Police Department, as well as the El Paso County Sheriffs, also have victim services. So you can call them up, and whatever help you need, they can provide you with those services.